We're on the bottom of page Nun Gimel. So after we finished saying that the ultimate purpose, Kavanah Yoni Oyoshia B'Yamatal, that's how this goes with Mitzrayim. Now with the B'Chayim Elveinim, how with the Basad. What was in that case the purpose? So Yaakov sent Yosef. Yaakov wanted should be Matal, but the Kavanah Yoni wasn't Matal. On the Gamla Zeh, so 5 lines from the bottom, just to repeat again what it says here. On the Gamla Zeh, it's actually even though the ultimate purpose is the bill should be Matal, but there needs to be a chana, there needs to be a preparation, and that was to Yosef. First, there's a gil milmayla matter that gives the kayach the achana should be matter. Kain oye yirida zetel mitzrayim amshich oye bagil with the shuhal mitzrayim lisbar. So first, what it said earlier that Yosef came to the brothers. Lios shloim achim, like we explained earlier, that means the amshach gil milmayla matter. And the same thing that B'chal the Yosef went to Mitzrayim was also a for the bir matal. Now he continues in the Chatzigul. What level of gili with Yosef in Mitzrayim was in the way of his slapshus? It means it wasn't the gili above the kalim of Mitzrayim. Usually means that he overpowered him. But here it was in the way of his slapshus. His slapshus means that so it's almost like Matal. It means he's mislabish b'levush hamizbar. That Mitzrayim recognized Yosef's greatness because he deciphered the Paris dreams. So that was a way of him impressing the Mitzrayim of Chochmas Gdolasi. So that is really Be'efim B'Shel Slapshus. Then later he became the ruler in Mitzrayim, which is also a way of Slapshus. Kai Gavna. Shekol Zeh Levushim. Kol Zeh Levushim Alimi. So these functions, technicalities, we can call the Vushim Amarlimim. They hide the koyach milmaylamat. El shenire v'nigle is gala was a gilalikus, but through that was gilalikus, to the fact that Yosef had an effect on the Mitzrayim. He became the ruler. He deciphered their dreams. I know Shloya Atzachlis Adain is Galas Mamash the Shemak Kafi Kavana Sakav. Raklas Sachon Levad. Yaakov wanted, so B'meila Yosef did have an effect on the bill of the Matal, but not the way Yaakov wanted. Yaakov wanted it should be total bill. Should be in a way that he's misgala and everything's bottle, everything is automatically elevated. But the way it worked L'Poel was that Yosef went down, the Beis Mishal Slapshus, which is almost like L'Matal, because it's only a gil is Shema. Right? The Shloyetz at least a dine is Gas Mamish the Shema Kfikiras Yaakov. That's the Chon Levad. The reason why the gil of Shema, the gil of Milmaylamata, was only as a chana. It wasn't the full force of the Shema, like Yaakov was. Mokum Acham Avur, and I brings in the Hagav, another point. 1 second. Mokum Acham Avur, the Shama is the Ma Eina Makal Malamas Vestein. The shamas dama really, so top of the pages said Ma'alim, the levushim of Yosef Ma'alim. They were hiding the real Gilui Elikus. It was a diminished level of Gilui. But Yosef went into Mitzrayim because only Achon, as Achon to the Biur Milmatal. Mokum Acham Avod, the Shamas Dama Eino Kaim Alos Besteim. Dainu Shagam is Lapshusam Eino Misal Mistatim Be'etzim. Says in other places, what's the difference in the shamas dama and the shamas daban? The famous Maimar in Te'er Mishpatim, when it talks about Zera, it says in Pasuk, Nesati Zarat is Bnei Sol, Zera Yaakov, Zera Adam, Zera Be'ima. Which is really in the shamas dama and the shamas daban. So what is the difference? I mean, in later he's using the lashon shamas da atzilus, which sounds he made it was later. Remember there was a kol sheket, so it's not. It sounds like the shamas dema is even higher than the shamas da atzilus. Not sure because I guess the shamas dema and the bana, but in atzilus, not sure what the exact definition is. But the shamas dama is similar to what I always talk about shamas da atzilus. The shamas da atzilus means, when we say, remember it says the Alter Rebbe was in the shamas da atzilus. What does it mean the shamas da atzilus? That it's not affected. When you say every neshama is from atzilus, but when you say the shamas da atzilus means the neshama is in this world, but it's not affected by the environment. It lives here as if it's atzilus here. Its surrounding is not affecting it. So he actually breaks it into two parts. Even when the shama dema lowers itself to the level of the makabel, it's still eina misal mistatin. Which is a little, it's a shtickle paradoxical. It means that it goes into the world of the makabel, meaning that it's in a state that the makabel can relate to it, the law madrega, but it's not misal mistata. Means it still lives as if it's. It's a paradox. Then he brings a dogma kamoi. First, it talks about the way it is in the elements of the end.
I think that the key word is etzem. It says be'etzem.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I mean, it doesn't. Okay. Anyway, be'etzem they're not really hiding, but which means that they're not affected by the environment. The Kamoy, it brings the example. That's the closest we can get to relate to what he's talking about. See a person, sometimes we see people, maybe I don't even know if we see it, but at least relate to it somehow. Some people are by nature just mufshit. They're not into any physical things. So it means that the person's neshama the neshama is in the body has its needs, but the person doesn't have no interest in anything physical. There's a mufshit. So the neshama is the way they are. So licha'era, this contradicts a little bit. That's why he's bringing it here. Earlier we said that when Yosef came into Mitzrayim, he was slavish. Slavish means he was invested. He was a Mashal Chalaras Mitzrayim, and it says over there in one, Chassidus brings in other places, Kisva the Chushbana, that Yosef is to, follow all the books, all the income books, check the. So that's a very much the chayra that's invested. That's mislapshus. But neshama is the mai. Neshama is the mai. Have this ability, this talent, so to speak, of being invested and not affected by it. So why do we say before it's malinim? It's the answer. It's true that it's mufshik. Let's say about Yosef. Yosef, while he was doing ruling, being the ruler of Mitzrayim, being invested in all the cheshbonos, he got paid. He had mamash in his mind was involved in all the details of running the government, running the food distribution, making sure that everybody making sure that it gets paid. So this is something. His mind is into such mundane things. Same time, he's not affected by it. He says, but still, what?
Where did you say that about Neshamas Ma'uban? It says, where do you say the references in Torah or where?
Mishpatim. Mishpatim is Sikna Eved Ivri, that he says about two types of Neshamas. Zer Yaakov, Zer Beim. Zer Adam, Zer Beim. So what it says here is that even though it's not Nel, you cannot compare it to the way it wouldn't be slapshus. In other words, it's like true that Yosef, while he was in Mitzrayim, while he was dealing with all these cheshbonos, his mind was somewhere else. But it's still not the same. It's not. Suppose he would sit in a beis medrash and learn. It's a different experience. It's not true that he wasn't affected. It's not. It's still some type of slapshus. Dogma, my niche was Maish. Can't go for everybody. It's the famous thing to say that Moshe Rabbeinu B'chlal, the Rambam says Moshe, like come Navi Yisrael Moshe. Moshe was a unique personality. It's neshama, and the Rambam says it's different than all the other Nevi'im. All the other Nevi'im, when they felt Gilui Likus, it affected their body in a way that they were not. It threw them off. Mashenk and Moshe Rabbeinu it was totally natural to him because he was a higher level type of being. Like the Rambam says, Mifchar Mina Enosh. So Moshe Rabbeinu says in the language of Chassidus, of Kabbalah, the neshama gam beguf e'er be'er nishmas. That in the guf the neshama was shining at full force. Because of a Torah is a kitoivu. The pasuk says when he was born, Torah is a kitoivu, and it's malavais kol e'er. In the bichlal, the body conceals the neshama, the eir neshama. But Moshe Rabbeinu kitoivu, the neshama shone at full force. So not only that, not only did the body, did the neshama shine in full force, so the goof was not didn't interfere. So Mameli was a very high level person. So, says in Kabbalah, an interesting expression that Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Har Sinai, the man, not just Har Sinai, he went up to the Evan to receive the Torah. The body he couldn't take the body with him. The body stayed in Elam HaYetzirah. He is neshama went higher. That's the expression in Kabbalah. What it basically means, in simple terms, it means that the body was only able to reach a certain height, a certain way of spiritual experience, but he wanted to go higher, so he had to, so to speak, leave the body in some place. He couldn't take the body with him, which shows, I know. So that's proof. That is proof that even when it's like someone like Moshe Rabbeinu, like the Neshama is the Ma, which is when it's mislabash, is not affected by it. It's still this slabash does something. Why if Moshe Rabbeinu if it was the same level, why did they need a Guf of Elam Yitzir? If his body was total Krita Likus, why couldn't they take the body with him higher? Because the body still has some type of limitation. Rak, da Islapshus, Eine Manim Master Be'etzim. Okay, again, like you see, right, he said, he used the word Be'etzim. That when you look deep, when you look essentially, it's not the Manim Master. The Komkim, Nira Vagil, Gamal, Wushim Nasim Berknafa. So we see that, so he goes back and forth. First he said on top of the page that there is some kind of slapshes. Then he said the slapshes of the Mars really in a way that it's not affecting him, but he goes back that even though it's not affecting them, it's still not, it's not the Master Be'etzim, but it's still not the same. Still not the same. Kamoi ken Yosef, gam beislapshus eleni salam istat, v'regel shemash be'adizes mitzrayim. Similar to what he said about Neshamas Dama Bichlal and about Moshe. So same things with Yosef. Yosef tak beislapshus eleni salam when he started when he was mislabish mitzrayim. I said it wasn't affected. It doesn't say the word. And there was a certain level of Gila Shema, which is Mavara, was elevated, Mitzrayim. So that's Marum is also in the Pasuk, what it says in the end of Vayigash, that Yosef was gathered all the Kesef. Kesef, I don't think Kesef was money, or called it silver that was in Mitzrayim. Which in order they should pay. So again, there's a pshat that he got all the money because they had to pay for the food. But the more spiritual view means that he was malakad and itzutz. And that was really the preparation. The lakad Kesser was no way of a mile, and that was the preparation for the next step in the Biur of Mitzrayim, which is the matter of mile. We said earlier, but at the same time, just like we said earlier about Moshe Rabbeinu, that it's still not the same as Shema Mamash. The same thing with Vayes. It's not Shema Mamash that like Yaakov wanted it to be. Was Meitos? So now, according to this understanding, we're gonna take care of another. We're gonna find another remes in the psukim we're learning here. That's another what we learned earlier, that Moshe, that Yosef came to Shechem. That there was an ish who found them on the way to the Shvat, to his brothers. So it says so Rashi says, Hazal says, the Gabriel, the Mala Gabriel found what is the message here? So the Maimah used the fact that there was a Malach involved to prove that it wasn't Gil Shem Mamam. In Yidon, the Sham is that Silos ain't Sichim Silos Mamalof. Sham is that the Cloud, we know that in order for, usually it talks about davening. That it says when we daven, I think it says in the Gemara also, it says in Zohar, that we daven, that we say the words, and the Malachim take the words. That says in Zohar, the Malachim take the words and they bring it up to the Eish Kaviyachol. Which means, it means that there has to be a shiur of the Malachim. There needs to be a to refine. In order for us to elevate, in more general terms, that our avoid is to elevate the world into Likus, but we have a limit how much we can do it because we live in the physical world. So we elevate it to a certain stage, and then the Malachim need to help us to bring it up to the next place. That's the way all our Vedas of the is understood. But the Shamas that Silas ain't him second Siyama Malach. When the Shamas that Silas does avoid it in our world, doesn't need siyur ma'amalach. It doesn't need help of the malachim. It can go on its own. Kayadua, to know the meaning go kadafia, never nafshit kasol. We learned the first time. The Gemara says, that there's a story about Afchia. Afchia, he's talking about we saw what Afchia is doing in the Eilos Elyonim. So everybody else had a merkava. Gohaka means merkava here. Had some kind of vehicle that made him go up, and the vehicle needed some push from Allah. That's what the Gemara says.
But Yehoka is, you said, Merkava?
That's what it said when I looked in the version. I think it was Metzia, below the first time, but Metzia Daf Peheim at the base. So, Al Kaponim, this is an expression in Gemara, but the Chassidus uses this Gemara as an illustration of the concept that Rafia was at child level. He didn't need help. He can do it on his own. He doesn't need help from the outside. So that's an illustration of what he just said. The Shamas Datzilas ain't Sarastir Malach. The Kol Shekel Shamas Dama. That's an interesting Kol Shekel. It's mashma, like I said earlier. The Shamas Dama higher than that. I guess like I said, in Atzilas Gufa, man bana tu madrigas in Atzilas, and Shamas Dama, the higher madriga within Atzilas, Shen Tzarshum Tion Malach. Which means, again, these are subjects and concepts that we can't relate to directly, but it means that we connect that someone who is so holy as Neshama Datzilas is connection. The way when he elevates the wall, the biurim, the nitzutzas, he doesn't need help from Malach. He has a direct line, so to speak. He was can't now and say according to that, why do we need a malach here? Yosef was neshama dema. Yosef was from such a high level. So wie kommt a malach dahin? What's I'm saying? Why do we need a malach? It's Yosef, it's neshama dema. Why do we need a malach? So from that is proof that it wasn't Gila Shema Mamash. That the way Yosef reached the Shvatim was not Gila Shema Mamash. Yaakov wanted to Gila Shema Mamash. But the Pile Yosef Gila was only a Ha'oras Shema Beit Slapshus. So because it was Beit Slapshus, then you already need the help of Malach. Why in the law of the Prince Slapshus? Because Yosef was in the way, because the Shema was in the way Slapshus, so we need the Malach to help to elevate. Okay, so let's just summarize what he did over here. So before the parentheses, he just added a new point that we didn't have till now. Remember, the beginning of this mimer, he spoke, not the mimer, the beginning of bottom of page base, he started saying that Yaakov wanted the Shvat, the Avedas HaShvatim was Biur Milmata. Yaakov wanted Yosef should come there, should be Milmata. He wanted Yosef should affect the Shvatim. They shouldn't need the Biur Milmata. But then and he explained the mile of Milmata. But then he said, but the truth is the ultimate Kavana Elyon, the Eibush didn't agree with. That's the way we see it in the Pirush HaPashut of the Psuk. The Pashtus Yaakov sent Yosef, what turned out in the end? The Yosef ended up in Mitzrayim, the opposite of what Yaakov wanted. That's Pashut in the simple Pshat in Psuk. But now, when we took a look at it from the Chassidus perspective, Chassidus view, then the pshat is that Yaakov wanted to reach a certain level of Bil Matam, but Kavan Elyon was no, because the Eibush that we know that he doesn't use the language here, the Dir B'Tachteinim, but the Kavan Elyon should be Bil Matam. Only to that we reach the ultimate the ultimate gilul of lost love. Now, what was the purpose of Yosef's going? So, but Yosef did go. So you can't say it was for nothing. Now, what the way he said was that it wasn't taka what Yaakov wanted, but it was still a honor. It was it helped. It helped the biur matal mile, because now the person with the biur has to be taka matal mile, but when we are in our law existence, we live in such a material world, so we can't even start to be on a matter. In order for that to happen, we need a gilim mile. I'm talking the language. We need a gilim mile, and that helps out we should start the be on a matter. Now, so that's what he said before the parenthesis. Now, in the parentheses, it said that because the gil is not like Yaakov wanted, but the Mele, because it's not, so the Mele, the gil is not the same level. Yaakov wanted to be a mile matter, that would have been total, everything would be conquered. Like everybody, like everything is just overpowered. Because the poil, what turned out was that we won't be able to matter. What do we need? Do we need to be able to matter, or only as a chana? Mail, it's not in a way of total overpowering, but in a way of machana. It's kind of mislabed. Yes, it was mislabed in order to help us, be able to matter. That's the last time that he said here. What's a chana taiva shechali as a biur? That's what he said. That's now we're going to take care of another pasuk in the story, which will also fit this way of explaining the story. So what does the pasuk say? Zogt Rashi, which means that Yaakov just happened to send them from Hebron, but really, what was hidden there? It really is the act of Yaakov was to fulfill what it said in what the Rebbe told Yaakov, Avam Avinu, is it tzaddik? And based on Absorim, Yodoya Tedek Yigeri Azarach. No, it's Yaakov's act of sending Yosef to the Shvatim was really the beginning. There was a hidden agenda, so to speak. There was a hidden, the Eibishter really to that act, he achieved eventually that Eden came to Mitzrayim. Because when Yosef came, and then Yosef brought down all the Eden to Mitzrayim. That's a simple shot in Rashi. Says he, but now according to the whole explanation we have till now, that what was the ultimate purpose of it's not that Yaakov wanted. Yaakov wanted one thing, but what was the Eibishter thinking, Kaviyachol? What was the hidden agenda? Just like in Pshat, Yaakov wanted him to go say Shlem Achecha, but really it was Eitz Amok Tzaddik. Really, that was the beginning of the Yerid Mitzrayim. So the same thing in a more, according to the Chassidus of Pshat, that what Yaakov did was he gave it that by sending Yosef, he gave him the koyach to start the biur milmata to the koyach of the milmata. So that's also ma'umas in the lashon of Rashi. Eitz Hamukish Leiset Tzaddik. Then he goes on the shibud malchus sheyol dezisana. In other words, to the Vaishlacheyu, we got what we said already, the biur of Mitzrayim, the biur of Matal Mile. That brings the Isana, brings the advantage of the Isana Tachachesh. Now he says that Marum is also in the word of Eitz Hamuk. The Inyan Eitz Hamuk, Uke Inyan Omko Machshavei Secha. The word Amuko is marames of the expression in Tehillim. Ma'id Omko Machshavei Secha. Omko means Tinas Meiches Tima Hanaida. That in Chassidus and Kabbalah, we speak always about in Atzilus. We have Chachma Atzilus. We have the higher level, of Chachma, which is Meichas Timor. It's not Chachma, which is part of the spheres. Spheres Agluya means which also means the level of Elikus, which is Mizgala to us, which is part of the one we can relate to. But there's a level of Omko Machshavei Sechas Meichas Timor, higher than the Shtarshalus. Then there's another. It's another emes, which will bring it back to this. That's a pasuk in, I don't remember where. I don't remember what that pasuk is. So it says, but the pasuk, if I'm to shir, say Chazal, say an important point. That's the point. It says, let's say he will tell you the hidden part of Chochma, because the strength comes from duplicating it. Kiflaim, twice. What means this? Chazal say, Kiflaim l'tashir is a remez of the second luchas. The second luchas, they bought the talumis Chochma. Maimer Azal, the famous Maimer Azal, ilamol nishtava luchas. Lo yorak hamisha chumash Torah v'sefer Yeshua. Ube'ela ani nois l'cha medrash v'halach. So Hazal say like this, that if there would be no luchas shniyos, be only the first luchas, then the Torah would contain only the chumash and Yeshua, and the rest of Torah, which is the rest of Tanakh, and Chazal don't talk about the rest of Tanakh. The rest of Tanakh and Be'ikar Torah Sheba'al Peh, that we got Be'elu, that we got in the Luchas Shniyos. So the key that he's going to talk about here is about Torah Sheba'al Peh. But like I mentioned, the Sefer Yeshua is still part of, in a way, it's still part of Hamisha Chumash Torah, because Yeshua, the Sefer Yeshua, is a continuation of the story of the Eden coming out of Mitzrayim and conquering the land of Eretz Yisrael. So that's the end of the story. The Sefer Shoftim, I mean, the Sfarim Tanakh later, I don't remember seeing it, but I think that's pshat. The rest of Tanakh already talks about the Eden the way they're after. In other words, the whole, like, what does it say what does it say? The first Rashi. Now, what is the reason why the whole Chumash, in other words, in a way, the ultimate purpose is Los Islam Nachlas Goy. The Chumash is about getting out of soul. That's what happened to Yeshua. The Shoftim, that's already a new reality. That's part, in a way, not only that Shoftim is Shoftim is only the beginning of the way Eden start doing their own things. Obviously, it's still part of Torah Shebechsav. It's not compared to Torah Sheba'al Peh, but everything is relative to Hamish Chumash Torah v'Yeshua. But Be'ikar it says Medrash v'Halachos. That the Chiddush of Torah of Luchas Shniyos is the Torah Sheba'al Peh. So what does he explain? Mavur Chassidus explain Chassidus. Shluchas Rishonos of Chachma Bura. Luchas Rishonos represent the concept of Chachma Bura, because the Eivish Luchas Rishonos means everything is the Valuchas Ma'aseh Elokim Eiva. It's all milmayla. It's all something the Eivish made, and he gives it to us. So it's the mail. Everything is clear. It's Chachma Bura. Mashenke Luchas Achronos. So lacham mishalcha. Luchas Achronos is something that Moshe made. That's already Ma'aseh Bnei Adam. Relatively speaking, it's milmatas. Relatively speaking, it's milmatal. So Luchas Rishonos, Abir Ben Vali Adam, that's milmatal. The concept, the way the Bnei Yisrael were the ilamal and ishtabar luchas, the way the avodah was, as a result of Luchas Rishonos, it's bir milmatal. It's Chachma Bura. Everything is clear. The Eivish tells us what to do. We just follow, and there's no, so to speak, back. There's no investment from Milmat. Everything is a mile. Luchas Shnias and Sheabir Betevnis Aveda Vegia. Velibon Ilchas Bekushas Totzim. So the same concept we said earlier yesterday about Mitzrayim, Kalvachayma, Velibon Ilchas, which means the Aveda to Yegia Milamata Lamayla. Just like Luchas Shnias is a result of the Tshuva of the Eden, like there's a few in the Samachov, there's all Arichas about it also. No, another place that says that the Luchas Shnias represent the union of Aveda Milamata Lamayla. Like for the first thing I said, so Lachor, number 2, it was a result of the Tshuva, the Eden did Tshuva and the Chet Egel. So then, in other words, they did their own hard work. It wasn't just imposed from above. So the Luchas Shnias represent the concept. That's why it's also Medrash V'Halach. What is Medrash in Teresh B'Al Peh B'Chlal means that we have to use our own mind. That's the concept of Luchas Shnias. B'Sheish Zeh Ubchinas Chachmas Timo Nikata Lo Mitzchach. So when you say to Kushas Terutzim means that there's something that's hidden and you have to break through and figure out what it means. So to that, to the limit the way of Kushas Terutzim, you reach higher. You reach a Chachmas Timo. Like it says in that's the Tarikh is there that says Machshakim Esheban is Talmud Bavli. Like it says that even in Bavli and Yerushalmi, there's relative to Bavli, everything is straight. Bavli there's more kushas with Terutzim. But the Poyel Aloha to Bavli, because the Bavli reaches to the Bavli we reach Bechas Timah, to the higher level. So the same concept we just found in the Luchas and in the Luchas, Medrash Halacha, Liban Ilchase, that's Merumas in the Eitz Amuk. The Eitz of Neschach, with the Torah, Eitz Bechlal means Chach again. Like I said, Eitz Amuk Rashi says that's what the Rebbe said. Again, Zarach. And now, he finds the remes. The Eitz Amuk is a remes that through the Yerid Lamata we get higher. That's the meaning of Biur Lamata Lamayla. So ultimately Yaakov wanted to be Lamata Lamata, but Eitz Amuk, the Kavanah Elyoina was that this Yerid Lamitzrayim should bring to the Biur Lamata Lamayla. Mele, it's Eitz Amuk. Eitz is a remes of Torah, which because of Li Eitz is a shiur. That person it talks about Torah. It's a person who talks about him because it's a shiur. So the Eitz Hamukah, Eitz is Tam is Torah. Eitz Hamukah is Chachmas Timah. The B'Chachma is Beriru, V'Eifan Abiru, Pinas Yikia. How do we get to that level of Chachmas Timah to the gear of Milmata Lamayla, of Memela Tzarech Lias Islapshus. So that is we need the Islapshus. The Islapshus of Shach, we need the Islapshus of Shachas Shema, which is by means what it says in the parentheses. That because the ultimate kavanah is that it should be Milmata Lamayla, to be Milmata Lamayla, Knesigia, this is why is the Gilui of Shema is B'chinas Islapshus, not in a way that he overwhelms the Makabel, but he's mislabed. Then there's the Luchas Shnias Bechshai Daina Be'elam Chulu. I mentioned the first time. The Chazal always say that even in Luchas Shnias, Luchas Shnias of Rash Gadol, that's why Leinis Kaimu, Luchas Shnias Bechshai is Niskaimu. Bechshai means that the Chumash Torah doesn't describe the way that the Luchas were given to. It does describe, but it lacks that big, the big drama, the big story of Kailas, Lapidim, Kalashefa. That was what the Luchas Shnias. But that's a simple pshat b'chshai that was lacking the big excitement of Luchas Shnias. But in here in this Maimar, he finds another emes. Chshai means behelem. Chshai means more, not only quiet. It means behelem. It was hidden, like we say that the Gilui the Gilui Elikus was in a state of slapshus. The mele that there is Amshach Shemai that is slapshus, but in order it should be the Be'er Milmatam. Matam Achim Levush, Zayin Atikin, that in another place explains what is Shai means. That's Tikkun. What it is between Toya and Tikkun. Toya, which is Olam Toya. That's Ribe Oil Miota Kelim. That's why there's Shviras HaKelim. Shviras HaLuch is similar. Is like Shviras HaKelim because there's Ribe Oil. There was such an overwhelming power of the Gilui Oil, so the Mekabelim can't handle it, and then that's and then the Kelim break. So the same concept in a way is Shviras HaLuchos. That it means that I mean, it's not exactly because we have the luchas about we have the case. It's not exactly, but the concept is the same. That the Mekabelim can't handle it. So where there's shvira, there's a breakdown. That's when the koil. But Shai means miutar. Shai is the remes of miutar. The oil is less, but riba kelim, and there's a lot of kelim. Not riba, it's slap is the kelim. There is more miut, but male is slavish in the kelim. That's why that's the meaning of Shai. Okay, so to summarize what we finished, so we finished explaining how, in the end, again, Yaakov wanted it should be Biyom Ma'ala, but the ultimate purpose is Biyom Ma'ala, but still, we needed Yosef, we needed the Gilui of Shema in order to start the Avodah of the Ma'ala. So that's how I explained it now. So according to what I explained it now was that in order for the bill should be a matter, we need our of Shema, but in a way it's slap. So say a marshal. Yeah, like the marshal is like the teacher comes to teach the child. He should learn. Let's say should learn something new. So he talks to him. He tells him something which the child has to understand on his own because he wants to. It wasn't just. He doesn't want him just to repeat words that he tells him. He should understand on his own. He gives him something. He gives him something powerful, but he slaps it in a way that the child should be able to relate to it. He gives him. He starts him on a certain journey, and then like I said, the child. A student is the proper word. The student gets from the teacher the direction in a way that he can relate to, and then he starts on his own. That's the way he understood what happened, that Yosef came and he gave a certain ha'ara shema, and then the Eden to the avodah mivar makom. That's the way we understood it till now. So according to this understanding, the ha'ara of shema is, like I said, be slaps in a way, be slaps in the Lebushim Amalim. Now he says there's another way to understand it. Also, that the way it actually happened, but also that what Yosef did was 100 but not a night mitzvah. The other pshat says no. Yosef actually did what Yaakov wanted him to do. Yaakov wanted it should be Gilui Shema K'moshu Be'etzem. That's what Yosef did, but in reality, it was only a temporary. It was only temporary. So the time to fit the marshal, we just said, the teacher and the student. It's not that the teacher tells them something that they can relate to. It's the other way around. The teacher tells them the ultimate idea which the student cannot relate to. He tells them something overpowering, but that triggers him. But he tells it to them like in a way. It's not consistent. It just gives them a one-time inspiration, and it's right away gone. But that triggers the student. He should start on his own. He should start his own journey. That's the difference. It's a difference. In the first way, he does it to him in a way that he could relate to with slapshus. The second way that he's going to talk to us now, there's a Gilui in a way that he overwhelms them. So according to this pshat, it's according to first pshat, Yosef didn't do what Yaakov wanted him to do. Yaakov wanted him to do one thing, and Yosef did something else. In the second pshat, Yosef did it, but it was only temporary. Still not that Yaakov wanted it should be bichlal. It should be. So he says in that way, kafi kavanas Yaakov, but also matim alamitas kavana. But in a way that the amitas kavana is, like I said earlier, the amitas kavana is should be mata l'mayla, but that gil l'mayla mata eventually brought with the proper way of amitas kavana mata l'mayla. In the Yadua, not saying so this is a new concept. In the Yadua, Chola Eres HaGiluim, HaYesan Nayim Hamshichem Ad HaAveda, the way the system the way the Irish set up the system of Avedas Hashem, to Avedas Hashem Imam Eres HaGiluim, the way it works is first there's a Gila K'may Shom Mitadatzmai. The ultimate oil that we want to reach in the end to our Veda. So the beginning of the process, the oil shines as is in the highest level. Mitzad atzmai, it shines with not to our Veda, but to that, so to speak, jolt of energy, of power, use that to this empowerment we get from that overwhelming inspiration that triggers in us the avodah milmata l'mayla to reach the same level, not from to our own effort. Well, Kamoi, so he brings the Gemara, a dogma, what happened historically. Number one, it's Yetzias Mitzrayim. What happens to Yetzias Mitzrayim? Same thing Kriyas Yamsuf. It was the ultimate revelation of Elikus. People, the Eden experienced the highest level of Gilui Elikus. But that was temporary. And then right away they came back to their own. They after that they went back to their original state, and they had to start working hard no matter what. Right? I mean, by Tzirchem says like in the Mamar Sfira Saima, famous Mamar Sfira Saima. The Eibishter Stak Meile gave them Nigla Lemelchem Kodesh Baruch Hu B'Chvei B'Atzma Golem. But at the same time, what is Sfira Saima? We have to work ourselves hard to the pyramids, because that was only milmala. It was a gilui that gave us the ultimate goal, but then we have to work hard to achieve the same level to our own power. The ultimate thing, Matan Torah was also the same story. Gilui, that's what himself Mamash. Matan Torah was the gilui of the Elikus Mamash, because by the Sinai. There was the sin. And what type of gilui was it? It was a gilui that totally overpowered them. Called Diba V'Diba Pachon Ishmas. So that's also Pachon Ishmas, which means it was overwhelming. Not only that, without fear. How did they revive them? Without fear. To a special do of Chiyas HaMeisim. So that's also the Chiyas HaMeisim is also the gilui Atzis. So every experience here shows, every detail in the story shows that what type of gilui was it? It was the ultimate gilui. Gilui p'chinas atzos sofam. But that was only the fisho. Hakach nis'alam and nislabash erbet Torah she's gas. That was the mitzvah. Then the Eden right away lost that gilui. 40 days later, they did Chet HaEgel. In other words, that gilui was very strong, but it wasn't. It was the fisho. It was temporary. In order for them to transform themselves, they have to start working. They even have to start working very hard to do it themselves. Because the gilui is not enough to transform them. It was only milmala lamat. They did not change. And in order for them to actually change, she's Galas of the Avodah Torah mitzvahs. So we need the Avodah of Torah mitzvahs. What do we see in this scheme? That the way that's what he started saying. The whole earth like that when we want to reach the highest levels, the way it works is first there's a very high level of Gilui, but it's only temporary, and then the Avodah has to be to achieve, to reach the same level, but to our own Avodah. So that way we can extract. There's a Yuvan Khan in Shlichus Yosef. So we can say similar when you get the Shlichus Yosef. In other words, unlike the first shot, that Yosef lowered himself, mislabish, only a horror, and he lowered himself. It wasn't the ultimate Gilui. According to this second shot, the Shlichus Yosef was started the ultimate Gilui that Yaakov wanted. The inner Prince Yosef, now it brings in another point, which it brings the beginning of the Ma'amar. You just said that Yosef is Yosef is Shema, but now it brings in introduces a new remez, which puts Yosef even higher than than the language used till now. Yosef is a mitis agila de los. Yosef represents the ultimate true, it's Gilui and the relation to godliness of the Osidla. That's Marumas in the fact that it's the pasuk talks about Osidla. It says the Lashon of Hashem Yosef Hashem Yod. So Yosef is a remez of Yosef Hashem Osidla. Okay.
שיטה אחר.